Okay, this is the beginning. Military service, high school and military. When I entered my enlistment, returned home after training. When I was in high school, there was a war in Vietnam. As a student, I attended the classes, and I did have some high school friends. Some of my high school friends went to the Army and the Marines. In 1966, my brother went into the Army paratrooper, and he came back home and was a policeman in the area. In the summer, June 1971, there was a draft lottery from the military selection activity of 1966. I received the number of 17 from the draft lottery. In July 1971, I joined the Army National Guard in Virginia. I went into the Army, and I was a private soldier, and I left the service as a SP5 in November 1977. I went to Fort Pickett in 1971 with our first sergeant. This is the first time I have met other people of the unit. In 1971, I took an airplane, 4 turboprops, and several landings, and we were going to land on an airfield near Fort Jackson, South Carolina. But we could not land because there was ice on the runway. Then we went to the airport near Fort Jackson, near Fort Gordon, and we took a bus to Fort Jackson. Before I joined my unit, I had to check in for a week. I had to mail a thank you from the USA to my mother. I also had some medical shots. After that, I joined my unit, and I did a lot of work. Some of the tasks were kitchen patrol, wake-up calls, shot the rifle, and we get a lot of exercises. Then the next time I was technical training at Fort Jackson. I was a private, and I was a field wireman. I had to do things such as I scaled up a 30-foot pole, and I had to scale down it to drive. I had to scale down, and I had to drive a Jeep, camping out, and keep KP. I went home, and I report for duty 1 day a month for 6 years. And in the summer, I had 2 weeks for training for 6 years. We spent many weeks in the National Guard Center for Virginia for Saturday and Sunday. We also have gone to National Guard Center at Virginia Beach, and we also spent training at Fort Pickett. In addition, I went to Virginia Beach National Guard Center for 2 weeks of training each year. I was a private, and I exited as a CSP5. I did go to work at the city of Portsmouth, military, and college, and they benefited me. Finally.